All right, so happy Friday, everyone. And we are in week 2. As you have hopefully gotten used to, I post attendance the Friday before the week coming. And I made an accident. That's so funny. I made a mistake last Friday and I accidentally released attendance, not intending to, because I released the whole week. So if you marked it for last week, sorry, you're going to have to do it again because the attendance is really meant for the week that we're currently either coming in or correctly in. All right, there's a couple of things I have on my list to talk to you about today, and I'll again attempt to make this short but hopefully beneficial for you. Some of you are not seeing my comments, and let me show you what I mean. Now, this is nothing you do, but I can in my Canvas change to the student view, what you're seeing. And under here, if I go to grades, as I hope you are, you will see your grades, right? So whatever. Now this is nobody's grades. This is just a student account that I have. And so one of the things that you want to look at, now one of them, if you don't see the little like discussion comments, that means I haven't placed a comment. Most of the time I do. So if you click into that, then you can see my comments, okay? And this was a very common one I got last night. Now this was just marked on the Hello World, but several of you got it on the My Print screens, was that you didn't set up that shared with everyone correctly, or you didn't place your print screens into there. And I will tell you that the good news was, for me, 75% of you actually submitted this work ahead of time, and those who did got a chance to fix it, again, because you submitted it 24 hours before the due date. So when you're working at the due date, it can create, some frustration. So I understand that, sometimes we all need due dates just to get things done. But in a class like this, working ahead is really beneficial in so many levels, from your stress level to being able to fix something that you may have missed. Okay? So just keep that in mind. And I think the other thing that may have happened last night to a few of you is because there are so many posts here that sometimes it seems like it took a while to load. So I think there was a combination of, yes, there was a lot of posts, but the other thing is there were a lot of students last night. And not just in my class, but I'm guessing, right, in other classes, because of course I can't see how many people are on. Anyway, I'm going to leave this to you. I just wanted you to know that, so that you are seeing my comments and benefiting from that feedback so that you can fix it where necessary. But remember, if you're fixing it after the due date, and actually, sorry, let me just show you this. I have also posted the late work, and this is a video talking about how late work works in our class and understanding that. And I've also provided a schedule of the tutors. So this is a way important thing, that getting extra help, there's many ways to get it. One is to contact me through chat, and other students contact me directly, and of course going to find tutors are great ways to get help. Just get it wherever you need it. Okay, so here we are. We're moving into our items that require the materials for this course. And so this week in classwork, I actually talked about the My IT Lab. I've already graded this. Most of you got this fine. But the one thing I will say, and it's important to remember, that when you're registering the My IT Lab, those course numbers that you're looking for are setting in the syllabus. So because the course number that you're enrolled in is not the course number you need for My IT Lab. They're located here. Okay? So, and these detailed instructions are what you want to look at. And remember, you have until February 1st, not too long, to get that purchased. There are trial accounts. Again, this is a little bit of a duplicate, but just know that that's true. Okay, so the other thing I want to say here is, as we come into the My IT Lab part, now the reason I say these two is because this one, even though it's in Canvas, you can use the ebook that's in My IT Lab. But this one is completely in My IT Lab and requires you to post your score. And I'm going to show you not how to post the score. That video is actually in here, down here at the bottom, so you can check that out. But what I want to show you is a trick, not a trick, additional help that you could use on the chapter, the My IT Lab work. And I'm going to move over to a tab where I'm already in My IT Lab. And in this case, I noticed it actually looks a little different this year. And I did something I would never recommend you do, is just hit submit. But the same view you're going to get when you submit your first time in this case. Now, I accidentally opened it up. And by the way, again, reminder, although I covered this, is if for some reason you don't see that, you have probably got the pop-up blocker on. So you want to allow the pop-up blocker in this site for sure. And you can do it up here in the browser. And if you don't get that pop-up showing the exam, if you look up here, it'll give you that option to include that site. But the reason I'm here is to show you this. After you've taken the exam, and I believe this is also true of the trainings, but more importantly probably for the exams, if you do view submission, and then you come in here and look at the submissions, right? What you can do here is it'll actually give you that step-by-step instruction for every item. And the other thing is it gives you the alternative. So if for some reason you're having challenges with your keyboard, you can try the alternative methods, right? So these are really helpful. And one thing I would do is actually just copy and paste all this into a Word document or a Google Doc so that I could have them so I could go look at it later, right? So just want you to know that additional help is there, okay? And because it really helps you if you're running into challenges with My IT Lab. And I've talked about, right, is that if you think the item is incorrect and you're contacting me, I will actually do it on my system. And if I can do it, which I have tried actually all these, I know I can do them, then we can talk about, you know, where you might be running into some issues, right? So just know that these have been tested on both Mac and PC. But you're still, of course, welcome to report to me stuff that you think is not working. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to say is on the chapter quizzes here, and this is way important, is that they, since last semester, have changed the format that you need to use for the matching quiz questions. So if you check out the video, which I actually recommended you do, and I still recommend you do, just know that in that video I was talking about the other method, which was letter, comma, letter. So now, and I don't know how this has changed because I have not updated the test banks, but for something in Canvas that has changed is this, okay? So just keep this in mind. All right, so that completes the items. If you haven't watched this, if you watch this after they've been due, then, you know, that's another reason to maybe watch these attendance videos a little ahead of the schedule. And just ending this concept is next week on our hands-on, we actually are going to start the Code Academy. And the one change I have made in the Code Academy, and I still recommend you watch the video, is I dropped the requirements for replies. I gave this a lot of thought, and what I was realizing is students weren't really doing the kind of replies that I was hoping to see in a community spirit. So I decided that, you know, I can drop that requirement. The most important thing is that you do the My IT Lab work and you post your print screen and you write something about your experience. Okay, but you can see it and here on out. And actually today I'm going to release week 4. I'm going to review week 4 and release that as well because I try to keep at least 2 weeks for you to be able to do. Okay, so let me go over here. I've talked about, I think, everything I wanted to talk about today. So I hope that gives you a good review and status and tricks to try to navigate this work. So have a great week and I will talk to you soon.